Last time, we defeated the vagabond, gained access to the library, and learned something about what Uncle Jeremy was up to before he killed himself, but still nothing that explains why. We were reading about a water goddess when we remembered that the water was shut off in the upstairs bathroom. There's another bathroom on this floor. We should see if it's still running there. Well, if it is, I don't think the octopus is willing to give us any. Actually, I can tell you that it isn't. If you try the tub or sink faucets, you'll see the same no water message you get upstairs, but I can't show it without being hit by the octopus. The octopus is invincible, by the way. If you shoot it, it will rear back and buy you some time, but it can't be killed. There's a jug next to the cabinet that might be full of water. The octopus looks fierce, but it moves slowly. I think I could run in, snatch the jug, and get out before it has a chance to react. We got it, but it seems awfully light. No, not a drop in it. All the same, that went so well, I think I could grab whatever's in the cabinet, too. That wasn't too difficult. But I suppose they expected you'd be bitten by the octopus. Each bite takes off 5 HP, by the way, as this flask is worth twice as much as the one we found upstairs. That brings Emily up to 50 HP now. There was no water to be had here, but there's still the sink in the kitchen to try. On the way there, let's talk about the enemies. The game itself leaves most pretty vague, but the strategy guide tries to get creative and link them to various Lovecraft entities. Night gaunts, dimensional shamblers, hunting horrors, and so forth. Let's focus on the two standard enemies. The zombies will be explained as the story progresses. You might already have a good guess based on what we've read in the library. But the bird monsters, and that is what the creators refer to them as, remain mysterious. All I can say is that they're an original concept, very loosely based on Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. Reynal was, and is, a huge fan of classic horror movies. As a young man, his father owned a video rental business, and Reynal watched countless hours of them. His inspiration for Alone in the Dark came much more from Hitchcock and Romero than it did from Lovecraft. No water here either. Well, I'm at a loss. Wait, Jeremy kept an emergency barrel of water in the coal room, in case of fire. On second thought, a small, dark room, only one exit. I think we should arm ourselves with something first. A couple knives. I think we'll take one of them. The knife is as damaging as the saber, but it doesn't have nearly its range. The knife's range is about equal to that of a kick. Now, the smart way to do this is to trigger the zombie, then quickly exit to the kitchen and fight it in the open. But I just love this camera angle. I see the barrel. and it is still full. But I also see another oil can. After all the oil we burned searching the library, it's a welcome sight. What about the coal? That seems like a place something could be hidden. Shoebox? Doesn't sound like there are shoes in it. A revolver? And what a revolver! Stop, thief! You're right, it has to stop. And you can do something about it. Use Big Iron Steel Company's Bull Gun Special. The great thing about revolvers is that, unlike rifles, they don't stop working when they get wet. But of course, I don't expect Emily will be taking a swim. Now, let's fill our jug at the barrel. Perfect! Now we've got a jug full of water. Maybe we could drink some of it for health. Nope, stagnant. But at least drinking it doesn't hurt. We'll just top it back off. The filled jug is heavy and takes up a huge amount of inventory space. As helpful as a knife is, we'll drop it here to lighten our load. Well, we've got some water, but I'm not really sure what to do with it. We went to the conservatory because Jeremy painted there. That led us to his bedroom, and his bedroom took us to the library, where he studied those accursed books. His study. We found the key to his study. Let's see if that's what we need water for. The animations in Alone in the Dark are based on keyframes. This allows for the animation to remain at a constant speed, regardless of the frame rate. A fast processor can interpolate more between frames than a slower processor can. The animations themselves use surprisingly few keyframes. The player's walking animation, for example, uses only 4 keyframes, described in just 40 bytes of data. The door to the smoking room is locked. Jeremy's study is off of it. We'll have to go through the dining room. There is some difficulty in letting the animation adapt to the computer, in that when the player interacts with a monster, hits are determined on a frame-by-frame basis. This means that, with a slower frame rate, you have fewer opportunities to score a hit. Conversely, at a high frame rate, combat becomes trivial, as you can just kick with wild abandon and destroy enemies without even trying. Oh my, we seem to have stumbled upon a zombie dinner party. Well, they haven't noticed me, I'll just back away slowly. But I do need to get past them if I want to search the study. I could kill them one by one, but I'd probably be injured in the process. Just like in the attic, there's bound to be a better way. There's a fresh pot of soup on the fire. Uncle Jeremy died 4 days ago. Where did this come from? It's made of people. I really saw a film that ended like this once. The zombies must have made it. It was probably prepared there on the table. Yes, it's still stained by the bottom of the pot. Maybe if I take this pot of soup into the dining room and drop it on the table in there, it will distract the zombies long enough for me to slip by. Well, they seem to be going for it. I'll just stand back until everyone gets settled. The zombies shamble along so slowly you can easily run around them, but even if you do, there's nowhere to go. You can either feed them or kill them, but all the doors are locked until you do one or the other. If you attack them, they will fight back, but otherwise the zombies are of no danger now. The double doors lead back to the foyer. We could have entered through them before, they weren't locked, but without the soup, Emily would have been in for a very lopsided fight. There's nothing else to see here. The smoking room is through the other door. Off it is Jeremy's study. And a smoking room it is. The acrid fumes from the cigar in the ashtray would quickly overcome Emily if she stayed too long. I think we've discovered what the water might be for. That takes care of the smoke. And we got a lighter. The great thing about lighters is that, unlike matches, they don't stop working when they get wet. But, of course, I don't expect Emily will be taking a swim. We found a record to play on our gramophone. But no time for that now. First there's a book to read. Memories by Lord Alistair Boleskine. Edited by A. Machen. That would be Arthur Machen, the 19th century supernatural horror author. Machen's stories were an enormous inspiration for Lovecraft. Were it not for the novel of the Black Seal, there would be no Call of Cthulhu. It seems Boleskine went to a small fishing village in New England that I'm sure isn't named Innsmouth, to witness the passing of Halley's Comet in 1834. Something about factors making it the ideal place to observe unusual phenomena in space. That's as far as the memoir goes. It would appear he succumbed to dementia and died before finishing it. He wrote that while still in Britain. I wonder if he kept a diary during the trip itself. It's locked. We'll use the key from the secret compartment in Uncle Jeremy's bedroom to open the study door. There aren't many signs of life in here, either. Where was Uncle Jeremy spending his time in the days leading up to his death? There's not much here at all. There's another record, that's something. And a book. The Tale of Captain Norton. During the Civil War, Norton, a captain for the Union Army, set up camp with his troops on the Derceto grounds. Elijah Pickford invited him to dinner, here in the house. Then, something happened. Norton thinks his after-dinner cigar might have been poisoned. He sees everything through a haze. Pickford's grinning face looks deformed. Shots fired outside rouse him enough to pull out his gun and shoot Pickford, apparently killing him. The next thing he knows, the house is on fire, and his second-in-command is pulling him out, while slaves rush into the burning building, trying to rescue Pickford. The Master and his Slaves. Uncle Jeremy was talking about Pickford. But even if Norton was wrong and his shots didn't kill him, that was over 60 years ago. Surely Pickford would be dead by now. Unless... Do you remember who printed that Golden Fleece book in the loft? Hesperides Publications? The Hesperides are a triad of nymphs that tend to Hera's orchard on the western edge of the world. The orchard is known for containing Gaia's wedding gift to Hera, an apple tree that's fruit has an unusual property. But I'm talking nonsense now. Uncle Jeremy hadn't been sleeping in his bedroom. That much was obvious. And he hadn't been here recently either. Where had he been staying? If we could find and search that room, maybe he left something there that could answer these questions.